And now we're going to switch to Dayton, Ohio, and our own Kelly O'Donnell, who's been covering John McCain throughout from day one. Kelly, how about the excitement factor of, first of all, the surprise that they sprung and what is about to be unveiled there in Dayton?
Well, Andrea, they got us good, didn't they? All the homework and prep so many of us had done really didn't include Sarah Palin. I will admit that Wikipedia became my friend very quickly today. And in the time since when I've been able to talk to advisors who've been inside the process, here's what they're saying. They describe Sarah Palin's reputation as being a maverick in her own state. They want to tie that to John McCain's perceived maverick image. And one advisor said to me they want to put Washington on notice that a shakeup is coming. So politically, you can see where they're trying to go with that. They know that the change message has been something Barack Obama has harnessed. They want to try to present an outside Washington image as well. And that's tougher to do when John McCain has been in the Congress for more than 25 years. Obviously, they're also going after women voters, not just those who might line up on some of the social issues with Sarah Palin. They recognize that certainly helps with the base, but they're hoping to appeal to some of the suburban moms, the security moms. She calls herself a hockey mom. She also has a story that many women may be able to relate to. Mother of 5 children. Her youngest child, according to reports, has Down syndrome. So she's got challenges at home to deal with as well. Those kinds of things that families everywhere can relate to. That will be part of the story you'll hear the McCain campaign talking about. And in all of this race, one of the most common complaints, if you will, or questions raised by the McCain campaign has been the issue of coverage, press coverage, access to the media, getting the word out. They have felt that because of the historic nature of the Obama campaign, that it has gotten an awful lot of attention. Well, they're trying to match that in their own way by putting a woman on the ticket, hoping that that will increase attention. Of course, it will bring scrutiny. But they say they are ready to have that debate on experience. And basically what they're describing in the early going is that she's been a chief executive of a state that possesses, in their words, 20% of the country's energy reserve. And energy, from John McCain's perspective, is the #1 domestic issue involving the economy. So those are some of the early impressions, Andrea.
And in fact, they've already got the McCain-Palin logo up on their website, so they've already been ready with the website. The website is already up. If you check your browser, McCain-Palin website already up. When you talk about drilling, by the way, she and John McCain do not agree on ANWR. I'm told that McCain, of course, has repeatedly said he has not come around to drilling in ANWR, and she has been open to that and up for drilling in ANWR in that reserve. She is, as you point out, pro-life, pro-gun, a lifelong hunter and fisher, a lifelong member of the NRA. So she does secure the base. She energizes the base, but she does present some issues for them in terms of experience. Kelly?
Well, that is something that they recognize. One of the things in talking to those who've been a part of the process all along has been what they described as a fairly narrow bench, shallow bench on the Republican side for women office holders who have really the kind of standing to be considered for vice president. Often the most frequent name we would hear from John McCain was Meg Whitman, who was the former CEO of eBay. She got so much praise for McCain on the stump. Also Carly Fiorina. Both of them are strong surrogates for McCain. But we rarely, if ever, heard any discussion of Sarah Palin. Advisors say when they looked at the list, one of the biggest concerns, of course, is the depth of experience, trying to deal with the threshold question of commander-in-chief. What they're weighing here is that John McCain has, according to polling, has a sizable cushion when it comes to those issues. And from my own experience with John McCain, talking about his pick, he's been so cryptic for so long, but what he would describe, kind of unlike the Democrats, his first answer was not someone who could step in a moment. It was someone who shares my values, my priorities, and my principles. And on that, he does seem to match up with Sarah Palin. And so it's a different perspective on how he looks at it. He's also consistently always said, in a sort of joking manner, that the most important duties of the vice president are to inquire daily as to the health of the president. He would use that kind of funny line to try to really sort of cast this decision in slightly lesser terms, in part because their sense is that McCain brings so much experience that they wanted to take that experience question sort of off of the agenda when it came to the VP. Another thing that now we can say was a set of tea leaves. When they came out so hard, Andrea, with the Joe Biden clips about Barack Obama and, conversely, in praise of McCain, they did it with such force, it raised the question for so many of us, well, boy, aren't they setting themselves up for the same treatment if Mitt Romney is selected? Well, with Sarah Palin, there isn't going to be a library of criticism of John McCain. There isn't going to be a history of sound bites that might come back to haunt. While they have some differences on positions, we won't see a kind of ready-made commercial that could take a shot at John McCain. That's helpful in this very limited calendar that we have left. There'll be lots of criticism, lots of analysis, and they also benefit right now from, frankly, our lack of familiarity with Sarah Palin, because it's going to take us some time to get up to speed and know as much as we can about her.
Okay, Kelly O'Donnell, thanks so much. I know you're going to be standing by for the big announcement.